fuel. "You can't use that for kindling," Liu protested. "We need it to lock our door." The argument turned physical, and a pair of soldiers began to beat Liu with a stick. 3 of his granddaughters had been herded into a back room out of sight of the soldiers and watched the commotion from a window, horrified, until they couldn't bear it any more. Pei Fu, the oldest one still at home, newly graduated from a Methodist boarding school, instructed Pei Yu, not yet a teenager, to run into the village and fetch the elders. Then she and Pei Sheng, the second youngest but the boldest, sprinted into the fray, jumping on the soldiers' backs and thrashing them while they tried to pull their grandfather away. "You guys fought so poorly, ran away from the battle, and you still dare to hit an old man," Pei Sheng shouted. "No wonder you're losing the war." Pei Yu found the elders, who alerted the commanding officers, and all parties converged on the house. The girls explained what they had witnessed, and the elders vouched for the girls. The chagrined commanders forced the offending soldiers onto their knees before Liu and offered to execute them. "Oh, don't kill anyone," Liu said. "That's not right either. You come here and we give you food, a place to stay, and you act badly. As long as you understand what you did wrong, that's enough." He made them kowtow and apologize, and for the rest of their stay, the soldiers didn't even dare to touch the firewood left out for them without first asking. "We're afraid of what the 3 tigresses might do," they said. My great-great-grandfather was not naive about war. In midlife, he had witnessed the end of dynastic China and the birth of a republic, when revolutionaries overthrew the Qing monarchy in 1911, ending more than 2,000 years of imperial rule. 10 years before the Japanese encroached, Chiang Kai-shek's campaign against local warlords had swept through the area, followed by sporadic skirmishes between Chiang's nationalists and the upstart communists. Each time Feng Liu Yun San, the winds flowed and the clouds scattered, the crisis passed. Liu's wealth and land holdings continued to grow. Still, his blood curdled from the reports of Japanese soldiers Sha-Ren-Ro-Ma killing people like scything grass in occupied cities. He especially feared for the granddaughters still living with him at home. Most of the village men of fighting age had already left home, eager to avoid death by the Japanese or, worse, conscription into the Chinese army. Liu was a widower in his 70s and could hardly be counted upon to protect his family. As he debated whether to flee everything he had spent a lifetime achieving, he must have wondered if perhaps this time things would not return to normal. His eldest granddaughter, my grandmother, was safe, ensconced in neutral Macau, as a high school chemistry teacher at a missionary school. He allowed Pei Fu, the second oldest and my grandmother's middle sister, to marry into a family he despised, figuring a woman wedded to a good-for-nothing was still safer than remaining unmarried during wartime. He'd already sent away his one grandson, the sole heir to the family fortune, with his youngest daughter, another science teacher whose local missionary school had relocated to the Chinese interior. That left my grandmother's youngest sister, 2 of her cousins, a daughter-in-law, and a long-serving footman, Old Yang. When the soldiers moved on, Liu and Old Yang waited for the sun to set and went into the garden with shovels and picks. Over the next few nights, they removed a patch of flax and dug a large hole deeper than a man was tall and as wide as a bedroom, and lined the walls with bamboo shelving. Working by moonlight after the village had gone to sleep, they filled the vault with the family's heirlooms: intricately carved antique furniture, jades, bronzes, paintings, scrolls of calligraphy, and finally, Liu's beloved porcelain collection. Vases of every shape and size, painted tiles of Chinese landscapes, hat stands, figurines of Fu Lu Shu, the trio of Buddhist gods that represented good fortune, longevity, and prosperity, decorative jars, plates, and bowls,